Hey there, guys. It's 7. I had some technical difficulty, so I could not come on at 6. My phone was dead, almost dead, so I had to charge it. What a beautiful night here again. It's almost like I wake up almost every day and I look outside and it's, wow, it's a beautiful day. And I'm not surprised anymore. But this is my last night here for a while. So I'm just kind of enjoying it. It's warm, it's really warm. Although when I go back to the East Coast, it's gonna be really warm there too. So I'm bringing the sunshine with me. I had an interesting session today with another coach of mine, a business coach. And she was talking about something called future pacing. I'd never heard about it before, but the idea is that you have to plan for, from a business standpoint, she said you should be planning out for about a year and actually plan out what you're going to be doing, what income you're going to be making, what your expenses might be, what your targets are, what you want to accomplish, and kind of start next year and then reverse engineer it all the way back, kind of thing. And things you would put in there are things like, and the idea is not to just fill up a calendar, like she said. It is to actually be intentional and put in things that you want to accomplish, and look at the 8 areas of your life. Would be, I don't have them off the top of my head, but basically your personal life, your professional life, your relationships, your I can't remember actually. I'll have to put it down. I can't remember. But there are like eight areas of your life that are a number of different authors and I guess people talk about them in different ways. They're talked about in a spiritual standpoint, but it's also talked about in a business standpoint as well. And these are areas of your life that are good to focus on, and they cover your whole spectrum of your life. So what you want to do is you want to look at these different 8 areas. I'll write them down. I'll post them in the comments, and kind of look at your year and balance what you want to cover for your 8 areas of your life. Maybe there's certain areas that you don't want to concentrate on. That's fine. So just kind of leave them out. And so this was a business seminar, I guess, if you will. She does this weekly. But it made me think about what I was talking about the other day, which was where you don't want to live in the future, right? You don't live in the future. You can live in the future, but you don't exist in the future, I guess is a better way to say it. However, you do have to plan. And there's a it's not like cutting straws. They're 2 different things. And I used to kind of consider them to be the same thing, because I never planned. I was never a planner. I just went along. Whatever kind of happened, I went with the flow. You know, it's chill, man. Kind of like I think of a boat on the sea without a rudder. This husband has been described to me a number of times, and that feels right. And if you are a boat on the sea and you have no rudder, how the hell are you going to get where you want to go? You know, you need the rudder or your sails or sailboat to direct your destination where you want to go. So that's the planning part of it and the future pacing. But you don't have to live in that place, exist in that future state. When you do that, you experience pain because there's a need. It's different than a choice. There's a need to, I have to get there. I have to get there. And then when you have to get there, you're more likely not going to get there, because what we resist persists. So you're resisting where you are currently. And so it pushes it away. You have to live in the present, plan, have future goals, and plan for them, but not get attached to them. That's like the biggest thing is not to get attached to your future goals or need of them, which is really difficult to do. It is, right? Because, one thing you're like, well, I want this. I want to be, I want to use a car, for example. I want to buy a car next year. And I want this particular model. And so I research the model, and I look at her, and I look at them everywhere, and now they're in my mind, so I see them everywhere. I'll use a Porsche because I love Porsches, and so I see them all the time. So looking, I see them everywhere, and I research them, and I see them on the internet, and I look at, whatever. So it becomes a desire to get that item, if you will. But that can also, if I get attached to that particular thing, then it's not healthy. It's like getting attached with a relationship. It's not easy to describe. I don't know if I'm doing a good job here. But it's really a feeling. A lot of it's a feeling thing. Oh, darn, feelings. It really is. It's a feeling thing. It's because you can feel when you really want, like the best analogy I can give is when I was, and this was really extreme, but when I was in college, there's a particular girl that I was so head over heels about, and she led me on like crazy. She probably knew it. But it was an infatuation. It wasn't a equal energy relationship or anything like that. It was just me wanting her. For one thing, because I couldn't have her probably, and so it was a desire, it was an infatuation. And when she said no, or when she'd play her games, I'd be devastated. I was totally devastated because I was so attached to that. That's an extreme example, but that is an example. Versus if you see a woman or man or whatever, and you appreciate them, you can love them, you can desire them, but realize that you will survive in your life without them. That's really important. You can survive by yourself. Some of the greatest peace I've had in my life is by myself. Not in my past life, but now I'm finding it. I used to be, when I was alone in my not past life, but earlier life, it was actually painful because I needed a relationship. I needed someone to be around. I needed friends. I needed all that. And it was painful because I couldn't get it. Now, I'm good with that, being around people all of the time. I'm comfortable with it. I'm comfortable in my space. I don't need to be around people. And the same thing would be with a car. It would be the same kind of thing. Like, you don't need a car, that particular Porsche 911 turbo car. You may require a vehicle to get around from place to place. Maybe a Mini would work for you. So it's about being attached to an outcome. That's huge. But you need to plan. So to wrap it up, when I talk about FAB, which is feel, act, and believe, this is the process I teach people. This is the process I've learned. So the feeling aspect is feeling what you want, dreaming about what you want, but not being attached to it. Just feeling really good about it. Not like, oh, I need it, but what would it feel like to be in that place? What would it feel like to have that car? What would it feel like to have a healthy, lovely relationship with a woman or a man or whatever? Versus, oh, they complete me. No, they don't complete you. That's bullshit. So that's the feeling aspect. The acting is you have to take action. One of the things is what I just talked about is this future, what I call it. I can't remember. Future. I can't remember. I just talked about it. What I just talked about anyway. So, but that aspect of planning, you do need to plan and you do need to take action. And if you don't have a plan, then your actions are not aligned with each other. They are kind of all over the place and scattered, and they probably won't get you to where you want to go. If you have a plan, then you can look at your plan and take deliberate, conscious actions toward your goal. And then finally, to believe that you can get there. And that's another piece of it, where as you progress through taking your different actions and having success, you will believe more and more and more that you can get towards your goal. You'll see it. You'll manifest it in your life. So that's a really big one. All right, so you guys take care. If anybody sees this, please hashtag and say replay. Like, thumbs up, heart. Let me know what you think, if this was useful. And I will be back again tomorrow, I think. I'm going to try to be back. Well, I'll be back at some point. It could be just a recording too that I did earlier in the day because I'm going to be flying. So I might be in the air at this time. But anyway, so you guys have an awesome night. Take care. Bye-bye.